Great. Okay, we're recording. Share screen. Okay, you can see this over here?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just go to Tinkercad. You'll just have to make an account, but just make it with your, like, just hit the Google button. It'll like make you account automatically. You just go to create new design. So this is like a really dumb blender is pretty much what it is. So like you have basic shapes. So for instance, like you can make a rainbow out of like a bunch of these, and you can just like, you can scale it to the exact size you want. You scale it with these like little nodules here. Okay. And then you could just rotate around here, and you could just change, you could change this color here. And then you could just copy this. I just copied it, paste it. Okay. And then this one you can kind of move like, oops. I mean, you know what a rainbow looks like. So you can just kind of make this smaller, right? Okay, and then this one could be your next color. Maybe this one comes out a tiny bit. Okay, so you can just kind of like keep going like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of other, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if I keep it pulling it outside, don't you think it will create a weird shape when I come with 7 colors?
Say that one more time.
So you know how you pulled it out the red color to not make it overlap, and rainbow has 7 colors. So if I do that consecutively, wouldn't it make a weird shape? Like an igloo.
Yeah, that could kind of look cool, but then I was just going to show you, like, this is just one way you could do it.
Oh,
There's a bunch of different shapes. Like there's, let's see, there's these shape generators.
Oh, okay.
So like this one. And what's nice about these is you can, so like if you want to do it with more of a coil, you can, yeah, so you can just sort of like make a little macaroni piece, right?
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can like fuck with the inside diameter, and then you would just, here's your little rotation friends. And if you just use this little, like if you hold down shift, it'll do it, you know, perfect 90. And then you could just do what I just did. You might want to have like probably number of sides. Yeah, so I'll let you figure that out. There's a bunch of like, if you just dig around in here, there's a bunch of like shape generators. So like the shape generators are where you can like get more specific shapes. And then what you would do is, okay, so let's say I'm just gonna pretend like this is what you're making right now. Once you situate everything, you wanna select all of them and just hit this group button. That makes everything into one shape. Then when you're ready, you just go to export, and you're gonna want an OBJ. Okay, so OBJ, and then it'll just download it, and then you can bring that into Spark. And then really all you have to do is, so pretty much what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add an object, and I'm gonna go to the 3D object, insert, and it'll bring up the inspector and ask you where your 3D object is. So mine should be in the downloads. It's called Tremendous. Where is it? Hang on, I'm just gonna grab this and throw it in the somewhere I can find it real quick. Oh shit, well, it's a zip file, there we go. Okay, this is the material for it. I'll show you how to add that as well, okay? So I'm just gonna put this on the desktop. Okay, and then, let's see. All right, here's our object. Okay, it's really big, obviously. You can just scale it. So maybe we want it like 0.5. So this is just how you would scale it here. Okay, so I'll let you like figure out what the appropriate size is for this. And obviously this looks like pretty whack right now, but that's okay. All right, and then you can rotate it. So we want to do it, I think, 90 on the Y. Nope, I lied. I always get these coordinates wrong. One of them should be 90. Nope.
X, isn't it?
Is it X? Yeah, negative.
Negative.
Okay, great. And then, you know, you can move it around where you want it. Oh, this is cute. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is, so here's the, okay, here's the OBJ, all right, here's everything. What you're gonna do is you can just drag it onto the face tracker and it'll move around with the face tracker. See that?
Yeah.
So you literally just load it in and then move it around. And then like, okay, so we'll leave this here because what I'm gonna show Kristy, you can also apply to this 3D shape, okay? So, okay, so Kristy, what you're gonna do, okay, we got enough time. You are going to download those, the face assets, okay? I'll send you the link for those. It's in the sheet from this week, the face assets. So let me just find those. Okay, so they look like this. I hate when you download something and it's like a weird date and then it just like, see how I have like 5 of these now? Okay, cool. So here's the face assets. So here's the 3D ones. There's 3D ones. The meshes are 3D. And then here's the textures. So you just want to use like one of these to kind of get started because you kind of want the crown to sort of like sit up here, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you're sharing.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to use one of these strange face assets here. So I'm just going to open it and I'm going to make like a really hideous flower crown with some my paintbrush skills. Shit, my headphones died. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, here we go. So here's your flower crown. Okay. You'll do a much better job at this. You could obviously bring in images and, you know, do your Photoshop thing. Oh, and also let me not be real dumb about this. We're gonna put this on a new layer. So I'm just gonna make I'm gonna make one new layer. Okay, so here's our flower crown. Okay, and it really doesn't even have to be, you don't even have to like edit the face out or anything because I'll show you how you bring it in as a texture. Okay, and then I'm just gonna like duplicate this a few times. So I'm just hitting Command J, which is to duplicate the layer. And then I'm just gonna put some like color overlay effects on here just to change these really quick. So I'll go to Effect, Color Overlay. Or, you know, the other thing that you could do, especially if you're gonna be doing this like maybe made out of like images, like a collage, what you could do is you could just put an effect on here. So let's just do like hue saturation, and you can just kind of like fuck with the color scheme so that it like just sort of changes colors. Does that make sense? So, okay, so I'm just gonna do this like a few times here. Just to get some different, oh, you go up here. Yeah, okay, and I'm just gonna kind of make these like random different colors. Okay, so that's blue. Purple. No, give me purple. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop there. Okay, and then if you put any of these layers on here, like any of these adjustment layers, it's best to like select them and then, wait, sorry, not flatten image. We wanna just merge the layers. Do you have much experience with Photoshop?
No, just Adobe Illustrator.
Okay, cool. So if you need any help with Photoshop as you're making your flower crown, just let me know because, well, you could use Illustrator for this too. You would just make 12 artboards.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like if you're more
Yeah.
comfortable with Illustrator, just make 12 artboards. And it doesn't even need to be like a PNG because I'll show you how you can mess with this, okay? So, all right, so I pretty much just like have made some layers. Oh, is this one just empty? Okay, I don't know what happened. Why are you all? Okay, that one's that color. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get us a couple different colors so that we can, okay, that's red, that's green. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just, like I was saying before, I'm just gonna merge these layers so that they just become like one layer. Okay, cool. So now I have, okay, something weird is happening. I'm just gonna do two things. Sorry, I'm not sure what the problem is. But yeah, you can totally just like make your little collage thing in Illustrator, just make 12 artboards and then export them as images. But what you're gonna wanna do is just make sure, use this asset to get your right sizing. You know what I mean? And then just delete it. Okay, so I'm just gonna export these images. Cool. Great. Okay, so now I have two images. So you're gonna have like an image series of like a few different images. So here's my desktop. Okay, there's my two different images. I'm just gonna like make a few more. Okay, so now I just have 4. You're gonna want like around 12 images. If you don't have exactly 12, it'll be totally fine. So now what we can do, and Krusha, this will apply to what you're working on as well. In textures, okay, so down here in assets, I'm gonna go to add asset and I'm gonna go to animation sequence. Okay, and then once I have the animation sequence, I'm gonna go to the choose file and I'm going to load all of those images in here. So on the desktop, I'm just gonna load those images that I was using in here. Okay, and it'll take a little while, but pretty much this is an image array. Y'all, I'm just gonna let Natalie in really quick because she just got here. So give me 1 second. Okay, so now this is pretty much, this is like a texture that is an animation. Okay, so just like you could use like your image textures and stuff, that's what you're gonna do. Okay, so once you have a texture, then you have to put it on a material. Okay, so does that make sense? Like the difference between a texture and a material? Like the texture is like the image or the animation sequence or like the thing, okay? And then the material is like kind of the 3D object. Does that make sense? Hey, y'all, welcome. We're just finishing up a little tutorial here. So Brandy and Natalie, we'll get started in just a minute, okay? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is then I'm gonna make a new material. Okay, so I'm gonna make a new material and I'm just gonna call this one, I don't know, flower crown or whatever. And then I'll also rename this sequence. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this crown material and I'm gonna add the texture. So does that make sense? So the texture is like the asset and then the material is where you put that image on, okay? So I'll go to that material and then I'll just go to this little drop down here and I should get this animation sequence, the flower crown animation sequence. Okay, so then what I can do is I can go up to, let's see, any of my things up here. Okay, so like my face tracker, my null object, anything like that. And then I can put the material on it. Okay, so for instance, instead of this material called right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the material called crown. And there you go, okay? So obviously this looks kind of whack right now and it's like not the right size. So then what you can do is you can go over to crown the material itself and you can do this tile and offset. So for instance, you're just gonna wanna kind of mess with this. So like if you do, like that'll tile it twice. Let's see, and then, okay, there we go. So again, this is a really bad example of a flower crown, but pretty much all you have to do is you just gotta mess with the tile to get it to go straight across. You can just hit the 2 in here, and then the offset, this can also help you kind of move it around. So if you do an offset of like 1, it'll start to move it around for you a bit. Here, let's try it. I think it's gonna be like negative. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, so the negatives will like kind of move it around, and you might just want to do like smaller, like 0.2 if you want to just like move it, you know, down a little bit. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then Krusha, same thing with yours, like you can put the same material, so like on this OBJ, you can put the same material. So you can actually find your, you can like create a new material and put your, if you do it in color, you can put the material that's exported from Tinkercad on here, or you can also put, you know, the crown material on here. And it should, I think it's because it's the way it's tiled. But if you just do like a really big like series of image animations, you know what I mean? Like maybe you just do like a bunch of different rainbow patterns, it will work. The reason this isn't showing up is because of the way that I tiled it. You would want to make like a custom animated texture. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And like,
so quick question. You said if we create like 12 artboards in Illustrator, usually they save as one file. Will it still create that kind of animation?
No,
or
they
does it
don't
have to be like separately files?
They don't save as one file. You would want to, here's multiple artboards, okay? So then you're gonna go to File. You could do Export As, okay? Use artboards. You could say all. You could do JPEGs or PNGs, whatever you want. And then it'll export all of them. Does that make sense?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then one other thing that I didn't show y'all in Spark, Natalie, you're gonna wanna do, oh, I'm so sorry, Kristy, I apologize. For this mask, I think it's just because I have some other ones on there, but whatever mask this one is on, you're gonna wanna set it to face paint, okay? So I believe that the crown, okay, so crown is on this one. You're gonna wanna set this material, instead of the shader type, set it to face paint. I have some other masks on here. Let me just delete these two so you can see. Okay, so when you set it to face paint, it'll get rid of, like, if you don't set it to face paint and you do like a flat shader, it'll just kind of change the way that it renders. So I would just generally recommend doing it to face paint because then you can see like the facial features through it.
Okay.
Okay. And then Krusha, if either of you need help like making those assets, just Slack me and I can help you. So like for instance, Krusha, I would recommend making, so like this image, let me just check. Go ahead and just open up those asset images. I'll Slack them to you and they're in the sheet from week 4. Just make your artboards this size. And then like maybe you just make like a bunch of different rainbow patterns, which should take you like less than 10 minutes in Illustrator. Export them and then you can make that animation sequence out of it and you can just follow. So what I'll do is I'm gonna stop recording and then I'll meet with Brandy and Natalie and then I'll send you all this video, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much.
All I ask, like, it seems like y'all had some like questions that you've had for like a week. I'm begging you, please just send me a Slack message and we can solve, like there's no problem we can't solve just through like a back and forth in Slack so that you can like actually begin to work, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I'll see y'all soon. Looking forward to what you come up with, okay?
Okay,
Bye.
Hey, y'all, sorry about that. I'm just going to stop this recording.